Park, when Michelin only had wets or slicks, didn't really have a tyre that worked that well in the intermediate situation. Well, this is an intermediate situation at this moment in time, and we won't know just how well Michelin have got this job covered here at Brands Hatch as they roll to the line at the end of their 2 warm-up laps. They will come under orders any minute now, and you can see looks like Carl Harris trying to warm up his rear tyre if he can. We get underway now as the red light goes out. With me is Tony Carter, and this is going to be an absolute cracker. It's Michael Rutter right into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time, but no, round the outside, Leon Haslam making those intermediates work, it would seem, better than anybody else at this point. A 91 bike in the lead up towards Druids.
Well, Ryuichi Kiyonari got balked by his own teammate there. He got such a drive off the second row of the grid. It looked like he was trying to find his way through, just wasn't to be, and got held up by Carl Harris.
Well, Carl Harris, he might have been holding him up a minute ago, but Carl Harris in second place now. Around the outside goes Kiyonari into third, fourth place it is. Right behind, it looks like the number 1 bike. No, he's driven past him. Kiyonari third already behind his teammate number 9, Carl Harris. Superb stuff from Kiyonari. He's on a mission.
So much grip from Kiyonari, it just wheeled as he was coming out of Graham Hill Bend. And on that one wheel, he managed to pass Gregorio
Olivier. Look at that, straight under him, Tony.
And straight under Leon Haslam for the lead as well, Kick.
All in one lap.
Coming out of clutch, he's got such drive out of there.
Well,
and now he's pulling away. Good 10 bike lengths.
Well, you can see it's just raining outside our commentary position at the moment. It's still the HM Plant Honda of Carl Harris that is underneath Haslam as well. So Carl Harris in second place, but blasting off in the lead. Look at him, already weaving his way up towards Druids is Ryuichi Kiyonari. Best case scenario for Kiyonari, because Carl Harris will hold up the 2 Airways Ducati. Not on purpose, of course.
No. I mean, we're far from team orders, being race 2 of the year, of course. But both of the Airways Ducatis, they seem a little tentative by comparison, but then everybody feels tentative.
I wonder what Carl Harris has got on there, because he had a bit of a sit-up coming out of Graham Hill Bend. Now then, Kiyonari, I'm sure he must have a wet... Oh, do you see how quickly they run out wide there coming through McLean's? Now this is the way that Kiyonari just... Well, he's got wets on. He's obviously making it work. They're obviously sticking at this part of the track. But as this weather goes on, will it dry? Will it rain a little bit more? Will he have made the wrong decision? Because when you're that far out of sync with the rest of the competition, you can look good for a while, but only if you're lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Forget the Honda lane. He's carving himself a Honda motorway out there, isn't he?
Unbelievable. Look at the distance he's got on these guys. Let's have a look at that tyre. In close. Oh, yes, all wet. Well spotted, Tony Carter. You were the first to pick that up down on the grid, and good job too. Tell you what, Kiyonari has double guessed this weather perfectly, and he's Japanese. How the hell did he work that out for the southeast of England?
Well, I'll tell you what, Keith, he could be a man on the gamble here, because if that a massive
and again, well, he did that the last lap round for Carl Harris. He's all over and you saw Gregorio Olivier as he was asking the foul through his right hand. It would not stick to the track through his rear end.
I was going to say, Kiyonari, maybe he's a man on the gamble, because if this track dries out, Keith, and he is on wets, then he's going to pay the price as it dries out and conditions get better.
Well, at the moment, conditions aren't getting better. It's not really raining, but it is an horrible, miserable, drizzly mess out there. As you can see from this camera, this is right above our commentary position. It's not nice up here. Carl Harris hangs on to it into Paddock Hill Bend. That's Neil Tuxworth to the left, Matthew Stone to the right, both Honda top men. The top brass are here as usual, and Gregorio Olivier looks at the inside of Carl Harris and just takes it with ease.
Classy move.
Yeah,
classy
well,
move.
he is class, isn't he, at the end of the day? The Spaniard, he's defending his championship. He won race 1. He's got a bit of work to do if he's going to catch Kiyonari here in race 2, though.
I wonder if that's going to be a bit of a hurry up for Leon Haslam, because the last thing he'll want to do is see his teammate running away with him.
Last thing he'll want to do is fall on his head again, that's for sure, because Leon Haslam must still be suffering from a headache after the bashing. Off goes Carl Harris. Well, he didn't have any grip as he turned into Surtees there. Nearly catches out. James Hayden, was it?
So close, it was James Hayden. And Carl Harris, well, he likes a bit of motocross, but I don't think he likes it in the middle of a British Superbike race.
Well, I've got to say, this is the first time I've ever commentated in the last 3 years, I think, where all of the top runners are fit. Hardly any injuries. I think Carl Harris is still carrying a little niggler in his ankle from last year, but really, they're all fit this year.
And then, of course, Leon's just gone and put wet water over that.
Yeah. But he's still fitter than some of them were at the start of last year, that's for
Still
sure. Tommy Hill we're looking at the moment, the number 8 bike, the Virgin Mobile bike. Was it Tommy Hill? It was Tommy Hill, yeah.
Tommy Hill. Craig Coxall breathing all down his neck.
Yeah, all over him on the Hawk Kawasaki. I'll tell you what, Hawk Kawasaki. And again, a big shake from Carl Harris. Carl Harris has definitely not got the same combination of tyres on that his teammate Ryuichi Kiyonari's got on the other HM Plant Honda, that is for sure. Now then, Where's Billy McConnell? I saw him. Is that Billy McConnell that's just snuck through in?
Tommy Hill.
There's Tommy Hill on there. I saw another Virgin Mobile Yamaha that's quite a long way out front at the moment, but 9, Carl Harris goes through. Then it's...
yes, it is. That is Billy McConnell. So he's ahead of Leon Haslam.
Number 16, Billy McConnell. We need to keep an eye out for him. I'm fairly sure he's right up there. Down Paddock Hill, up towards Druids now. Billy McConnell it is. Incredible manoeuvres from Billy McConnell, the Australian that's come up into the Superbike class, courtesy of winning last year's Virgin Mobile Cup.
Well, that's a hell of a ride from Billy McConnell, the young Australian. Quiet lad, Craig Coxall going up the inside of Tommy Hill and at the bottom of Graham Hill Bend.
Compatriot, of course, to McConnell. He's moved. And again, Carl Harris. That bike just hates the outside of Graham Hill Bend. Coxall here on bike 41. He replaced Glenn Richards in the Hawk Kawasaki team this year, and this is a good race for him as well. James Hayden holding on there in front now of Carl Harris. Carl Harris having a right struggle with grip at the rear end.
Carl will have to regain his composure after that grass tracking incident. I wonder if he's got any, well, the tyres would have been messy, they've been cleaned up by now. But
Coxall was having a look then at the inside into paddock, but it's still just drizzling, not great weather at all at the moment. Makes a big difference. We're at Druids. The hairpin back to something like 50, 55 miles an hour, probably a little less in these weather conditions. Well, not for this man. I think he's going around here like it is dry. Ryoichi Kiyonari on the HM Plant Honda, 4th place in race 1. Oh, it's floating, isn't it? It's like with wet tyres. It's a strange combination. Wet tyres, the bike moves around, it squirms a little bit. The treads move around on the carcass of the tyre, generating loads of heat, making the tyre work if it's wet. But of course, if it starts to dry out, they overheat and it slides around like you're on ball bearings. Kiyonari at the moment seems to have a perfect Michelin for the job.
Just looks so comfortable on the front, doesn't he?
Oh, you just hit the key there. It's all very well me talking about the way the rear's squirming around, but of course the front end is a thing that you need planted at all times on a motorcycle, because once that let goes, it takes a pretty good man to save it. But look at the lead that he has.
It's phenomenal. After just a handful of laps to be out, that's got to be close to, what, 15, 16 seconds, surely by now.
Well, we're 7 laps in at this moment in time, and Kiyonari is just taking the mickey. But Billy McConnell is the hero of race 2 today. There he is, the Virgin Mobile of number 16, in front of Gregorio Lavia, the race 1 winner. What a ride from Billy McConnell. Superb. He must have taken on board, surely, on the... And he's Pirelli shod, remember? That's something else we should mention. Tell you what, it looks like he's got slicks on there. Those slicks are working in those half and half combination of weather conditions, so really the Pirellis are coming into their own. Rob Mack talked about he needs the bikes to be in the zone, he needs the weather to be in the zone of the tyres that they have for this race, and certainly Billy McConnell looks to me like the Pirellis are a perfect combination.
You know, they all look zoned out for Billy McConnell, but he's such a class act. We saw this in the R6 Cup, and he's a quiet lad as well. He's a very thoughtful sort of person in the garage, but out on track, well, he's just running that like an absolute beast.
So we got Michelin Wets on your race leader, Ryoichi Kiyonari. Second place, it looks like Pirelli slicks here on lap 9 of the 30, and behind him, Greg Lavia, we know he's got slicks on as well, and then Leon Haslam, who's got intermediates on. So we've got all sorts of combinations of all sorts of manufacturers, both bike and tyre, in the first 4 places. Incredible.
Greg Lavia was, as they were coming along the bottom Cooper Straight, was reaching over to sort of the top of the tank. Would that have been for a steering damper or something? He was making some adjustments as he was coming down there.
Well, he could have certainly been making an adjustment or two, but what it would have been, I don't know, on the Ducati. As we look back to James Hayden fighting off Tommy Hill and number 9, Carl Harris. So 8 is Tommy Hill. That's Billy McConnell's teammate.
Good to see Tommy Hill up there, isn't it? I'm such a Tommy Hill fan. There's a rider who just does it all by the seat of his pants. You know, he's completely in there, full on aggression, hunched forward, fantastic rider.
Full on aggression, but he's been on his ear as well, and he wouldn't have been too happy with that after race 1. He won't be looking to do that again. James Hayden looks a little subdued on the Rizzo Suzuki. Oh, and that's probably why he hasn't got enough grip. Through goes Tommy Hill, makes him pay for spinning up the rear end of the Suzuki. Whoa, and again Carl Harris out of all sorts of... A real mess on lap 11 at the moment. Lap 11 at 30. Now it looks to me like the rain has left off a bit as I look out of the commentary box window here. So those with slick tyres may now start to have an advantage. That man has got slick tyres on. Will he be able to reel in Ryoichi Kiyonari? Kiyonari, of course, in fact, he's got to reel in Billy McConnell first because he's in front of him. There he is, 16 on the Pirelli shod Yamaha. We'll see. It's enthralling. Race 2, that's for sure. We've got a right variation to try and commentate on here.
The whole thing with Olivia, though, is, oh, look at Olivia, that's Leon Haslam's girlfriend.
Well,
James Wright was...
and at the back there, Darryl Healy, team owner, of course, of the GSE team, and they've been responsible for moving some very famous names indeed on into the World Championship. James Toseland, Neil Hodgson, and Troy Bayliss, there he goes, he comes to my memory at last. Troy Bayliss as well was another GSE graduate up into the World Championships.
That was a long time ago, that. But
Here
Bayliss came to the UK and shone through in not dissimilar conditions to this, as I remember, at Donington Park.
Awful conditions indeed. So then as the back markers get moved out of the way, and of course at this particular point it's not just the front runners that are going to be struggling with their tyre choices, it will also be all of the guys that are being lapped as well. They're all struggling with their own. Look at this, Kiyonari about to lap Jonathan Ray. Now Jonathan Ray, for my money, I had him on being a top 5, top 6 man this weekend, and Jonathan Ray's about to be lapped by the leader on the Red Bull Rookies bike. Looking back, that's Shaky Byrne right in the middle of it all there. But Shaky Byrne, MotoGP star, is only about 100 yards away from being lapped by your race leader, Ryoichi Kiyonari.
And there's not a lot of guys in here who are slouches, are there? I mean, there's Scott Smart there. Scott's pretty handy on the motorcycle, certainly around Brands Hatch.
I'll tell you what, Kiyonari got held up a little bit in the middle of Druids there. Was that Peter Hickman, I think it was, that was in the middle of it all? Scott Smart has been ridden round. Jonathan Ray has gone backwards as well. Well, they just must have made bad. You can see the way they can't put the power down, so this is just bad tyre choice. Michael Laverty on the 33 Stobart Honda is in the middle of this lot as well. Kiyonari, I tell you.
You wouldn't want to be Neil Tuxworth right now, would you, Keith? You'd be sucking in all the air you could through your teeth.
He's pretty cool though, Neil, and he's seen it all, been there before. And look at this, straight under it, hit the apex, right underneath the bike. Unbelievable. So Ryoichi Kiyonari chasing after MotoGP returnee, the former British Superbike champion Shane Byrne, about to be lapped by Ryoichi Kiyonari. That will be like a slap in the face with a wet fish.
Just a bit, and it hasn't really gone according to plan for the Rizzler team so far this year, well, as far as this round's concerned, has it?
No, well, they were a bit late getting all their bits this year. I think they've not done a lot of testing. Of course, I think Ryoichi Kiyonari's done like 4,000 kilometres on that bike testing already. We know the Airwaves Ducatis boys have been down in Spain, down in South Africa. They've had lots of sunny testing, and I think that makes a big difference. The blue flag being waved frantically means you've got fast-moving traffic coming up behind you. When you're in your own battle, it really is, you know, if you move over, you might give one of your own competitors a bit of an opportunity to slide on past you. Lavia cuts through them onto the Cooper Straight. Again, it's going to be Michael Laverty on bike 33. There's McConnell. He's been passed now by Gregorio Lavia. Lavia has got past McConnell. McConnell has got mired in amongst the back traffic, and that's cost McConnell and Lavia's through. Next up will be Haslam. We're on lap 23. Coming out of Clearways to start another lap. Over the line. Kiyonari leads by nearly 20 seconds.
Leon Haslam was having a look around the outside of Billy McConnell. McConnell holds the inside line, though, going back into Paddock Hill. So McConnell's not about to roll over and give up a place, is he? He's making everybody fight for it.
Well, I said it was lap 23. It is lap 23. Oh! Because Kiyonari's so far in front, it trips our lap meter so much earlier than when we see these guys come over the line. So Kiyonari is almost half a lap in front while this lot sort themselves out here. Incredible. Is that Shane Byrne again? He's right in the middle of this lot as well. I can't believe we're seeing Shane Byrne lapped.
MotoGP last year, this year being lapped again. But as he's coming around into Clearways and Clark, and this time he's being lapped by Billy McConnell. If you told me that before the start of this race, Keith, I'd have definitely had a 10 quid bet with
I'll tell you what, if Billy McConnell had been said he was going to be given a podium position in the race today somewhere, he'd have taken it without going out there. He wouldn't have bet on getting a better place, that's for sure. Carl Harris is in 7th place at the moment. He's slipped down to 7th. He's done a bit of grass tracking and he's moving backwards through the field. He's not happy with his tyre combination. Who was that out there? Was that Haslam? Somebody Haslam out really, really wide out on the berm.
Yes, it was Haslam, because Billy McConnell's now dropped back through.
So Billy McConnell back in front of Haslam, it would seem. Oh, that's a biggie from McConnell. Wow, I'll tell you what, he got off that just in time. If he'd held that for a second longer, he'd have hit that barrier head on. And that you really do not want to be doing there. It almost high-sided. Billy McConnell, quick reactions, held onto the bike, but it was a set of circumstances where you really want to jump off it, because you watch this, hits that white line, sends him sideways, but he held it for too long and just got off it in time. That would have been a massive injury if he'd gone into that barrier. Billy McConnell Well, he gets a 5.9 for style as far as getting back to his feet's concerned. But McConnell, I'll tell you what, that was the race for me. He was the best as far as this race is concerned. He was man of the race. Real performance from McConnell.
Yeah.
But to fall like that, really unlucky. Through goes Greg Lavia on Shaky Byrne, the ex-MotoGP star. A little bit of a wave to Shaky Byrne there. So Gregorio Lavia, was that to say hello? Or do you think to say next time get out the way in a bit more of a hurry?
Well, as he passed Shaky Byrne, he was shaking his head, shaking at Shaky as he went through, and then gave him some sort of hand gesture. Probably good that we couldn't see what the hand gesture was because it was obscured by a back marker. But yeah, no love lost there, it doesn't look like.
It didn't appear like it for a moment, but then again, frustration, of course. Gregorio Lavia needs to be getting on. We're on lap 26 now. Ryoichi Kiyonari's off the front. Gregorio Lavia's been putting in some consistently quick laps, although he's being caught. He's caught up in amongst all the back markers. He really needs to do some work if he's going to catch this guy. He's on wet tyres. Ryoichi Kiyonari and the HM Plant Honda are on wet tyres. But they have been working absolutely, incredibly, superbly around Brands Hatch here. But of course, we know that Gregorio Lavia is on slick tyres, and those Dunlops might just be coming into their optimum temperature, the optimum grip as far as this drying track is concerned. And Lavia cannot waste time getting past back markers. He has to get in touch with Ryoichi Kiyonari if he's going to win this race.
It's a huge arse though at the moment.
Oh, it's too much.
Yeah,
in my view, it's too much. I mean, I'm talking it up, but I don't believe it's possible. Number one goes through on Michael Labadie, the Ulsterman, then conceding the place like the gentleman that he is. The Stobart Honda team not having a great day now in race 2. Rutter made the podium in race 1, is out of race 2, and Labadie's only out there making up the numbers as it is at the moment.
Yeah, I can only imagine that Michael Rutter must have had some major sort of mechanical problem, because it wouldn't be like Mike just to come in because it was a bit slippery. He is such a master of those type of conditions.
I'll go with that. You're right, and he did look pretty good in the early laps as well. Still Kiyonari leading, the 22-year-old Japanese. Lavia second, Haslam in third, Coxell is still in 4th place. Harris is up there too, 5th place now. So Carl Harris has recovered somewhat.
Craig Coxell though, hell of a ride from him.
Great ride. Well, great. I mean, the Hawk Kawasaki's this weekend have astounded me. They are the team with the least money, and they are doing fantastic with it.
Well, Dean Thomas was saying before this race how impressed he was with the new Kawasaki ZX-10 straight out of the crate. He said it feels very much like the old one in terms of racing it anyway, you know, and he thought they'd have a good launch pad for the rest of the season.
Here's Ryoichi Kiyonari, a race leader, and still looking composed, looking absolutely smooth. It's not moving around, it's not sliding about at the rear end. No doubt he will be pouring the power on in a gentle manner to try and save that rear tyre if he can. We're on lap 29 of the 30. Ryoichi Kiyonari is well on his way to taking his first win of 2006. He won both these races here last year. Looks like he is going to take the second of the races today. Meanwhile, it's like a couple of old blokes in the day room, doesn't it?
What were those pair of blokes off the Muppet Show?
No, don't even go there. Neil Tuxworth and, of course, Matthew Stone, both respected men from Honda that have made this all happen for Ryoichi Kiyonari. Round clearways, coming to the checkered flag. Ryoichi Kiyonari, absolutely astonishing. Final lap then it is. The yellow flag with the black cross on it instigates the final lap. And Kiyonari, well, he's on a lap of his own virtually. They've still not come over the line here.
I'll tell you what, Keith, when he's on the brakes into Druids, you would think it was a sunny day, wouldn't you? And it was a completely dry track, because he's got that bike just fishtailing on the brakes on the way in.
But even when he turns from Druids down to Graham Hill, where we are at the moment, the bike doesn't look to be moving.
No.
It's just fantastic. Dean Thomas is about to be lapped there as well. The number 12 Hawk Kawasaki of Dean Thomas is now in the sights of Kiyonari.
Just as we were saying, Dean is no slouch.
And we're on the last lap. I wonder if he's going to give Dean a lap off. Yes, he is. He's going to pass Dean Thomas, so Dean Thomas won't have... No, he won't. So Dean Thomas will have to do the last lap. Kiyonari will win. Yes, Kiyonari's backed it off to take the checkered flag. Dean Thomas will have to work for another whole lap instead of having one off. We look back. How long is it going to be? I could count this on an egg timer. I don't know about on a stopwatch. Over the line, Gregorio Lavia. It will be, but it is the top man from Japan, Well, the defence of the championship is Gregorio Lavia's, but this man, Ryoichi Kiyonari, has just put himself in a very good position indeed to take it to Gregorio next time out at Donington. So the race classification after race 2 here at Brands Hatch. Ryoichi Kiyonari, the runaway winner from Leon Haslam, in second place. Gregorio Lavia comes through into third. Craig Coxell in fourth. Carl Harris fifth. Tommy Hill sixth. James Hayden, Dean Thomas, they round out our top 8. And Glenn Richards 9th, Ollie Bridewell in 10th place. Good ride from Ollie Bridewell. Shane Byrne down in 11th place. Well, that's a disaster as far as he's concerned. John Kirkham, good ride for 12th for him. Ben Wilson in 13th. 14th is Gary Mason. Marty Nutt, the best of the privateers, also getting a point for 15th place overall. Scott Smart in 6th. Championship standings then as they add up after 2 races here at Brands Hatch today. Gregorio Lavia on 41 points, just holding the lead from Ryoichi Kiyonari. What is it that gives us the feeling that these two are going to be at it all year long? Carl Harris in third, Leon Haslam fourth, Michael Rutter, Dean Thomas, Shane Byrne and James Hayden after round 1 here at Brands Hatch. Glenn Richards on 14, Craig Coxell, well, he'd have taken those 13 before he came here today, that's for sure. Jonathan Ray 11, Tommy Hill 10, Michael Laverty, Gary Mason and Ben Rilson round out our top 15.